Me dijiste que la guardara.
I know. I saw you guys down there. I was like, I'll get you through. I got you guys.
How much do we cut the line out here? Like,
yeah.
and how about single? We don't do single line.
Not single.
Because I mean, it's one thing for like Harry Potter to do it you're on the ride for like what, 4 minutes. Here you're on there for an hour. So it's like if you're going there a lot, it's like if you ask someone to go like but you don't do it.
Déjalo, suéltalo. Vente. Vente.
Are you guys locals or San Diego?
Yeah. That's why I stayed there.
You like it where you stay? I'm not sure yet. I just found out that what the hotel is here from the hotel room. So I'm not staying. Oh, it's hectic. Yeah.
Yeah, the Marriott.
Yeah, she just made the happy prom there. Nice. Well, you can see the baseball game. Yeah, you can see the baseball game.
People just hang out there, party up at the rooftop, and watch baseball games. And I don't know if the acoustics would be that good.
That show was like 30 people.
I think it makes sense.
It's like I think for baseball games.
Like half of it's blocked off, and
Yeah.
the field gets off.
So which like living from home? Or you living from home?
Yeah, that's one thing.
So like they'll go from you'll see it from like the side.
You see it the side angle. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I mean, a baseball game is one thing for me, and a concert. A concert's fun, man. You got all that like. Yeah,
almost went to that show, but didn't go. What are you doing, man? Like, I don't know, it's hard. When I was in like, middle school, I always saw, you know, Billy Eilish. That's right. Now it's 17,000. So one of my friends, like, I was filming this thing for this like little like film program, and I was showing this girl who's best friend with Billie Eilish. I was like, oh, I need to do a music video. They know my friend Billy and El-Kheer with this. Like, this weekend I'm on this show, like whatever, probably nobody anyway. So yeah.
It's unsafe for you and those working at the studio. Instead, reach overhead and pull the red cord that runs down the center of each car. Your guide will be back to assist you as soon as it is safe to do so. Please remain seated and do not exit the tram on your own for any reason. Wait for your guide to provide assistance. You can't emphasize strongly enough how important this is. Remain seated and inside the tram at all times while on the tour. We appreciate your cooperation. Thanks so much and enjoy your visit to the world-famous Universal Studios tour. See you next time. Happy 60th anniversary, Universal Studios.
Almost there. Almost here, just waiting on the ride right now. Still in line. We were able to express the line just by having just a couple of people with us. So yeah. Once that one goes off, this probably will be our ride right here, this one. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna get the flower bag, but I have a bag that's I have a white bag that's like nylon, that it's like a picnic basket, and it could easily just like the paper and flowers and put it on the bag. If I decide which flowers to put on, relax. Like we're gonna go to the water place, water park. Wake up at 6 in the morning, you go like in the early bus with other people, and you're on a time limit. Back on the bus for like 1 hour and stuff. It's kind of nice. There's a small town where she makes pepperoni chocolate. And I want to and then you and Becca actually
Grab two.
and you can see that you're gonna get like this.
Alright, thanks. So you get one of these right here before you head on to the tour. See? This. Boom. There we go. Two. Alright. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Make sure those things are very secure. As part of our commitment to creating a zero-emissions fleet of studio tour vehicles,
Scoot in.
electric trams introduced into the fleet. The electric trams get their power from wireless inductive charging pads, just like the chargers on your cell phone, only a lot bigger. And just like electric trams, we use regenerative braking, so whenever we go down a hill, we build up a charge. In 1964, the tour premiered with the Glamour trams. They were red and white candy striped. We're seeing some footage of the Glamour trams on our screens here and there. In 1983, we premiered the Super Trams, allowing for more guests to experience more thrills. And in 2000, we had an onboard video turning the tram into a movie theater on wheels. How do I know so much about trams? I minored in tram theory in college. Everybody laughed, but who's laughing now? Joke's on them. All right, our drivers join us. It's Nathan. Everybody say hi, Nathan.
Hi, Nathan.
Great job. Nathan's feeling the love up here in Carolina. And Nathan just got the all-clear, so we're going to start heading out and leaving the theme park behind. We actually didn't get the all-clear. I thought I saw something that I didn't. Oops. Is anybody celebrating a graduation? Oh, happy graduation. Right here, Nancy. Where'd you graduated from?
Finish
Round of applause for the high school grad. And in the back row, car one, where'd you graduate from?
What?
First grade? Oh, round of applause for the first grade graduates. Big time stuff, big time moves happening on this trip. All right, we're leaving. So again, let's wave goodbye to the theme park. And let's meet the master of ceremonies for our 16th anniversary. He's the host of the Tonight Show. It's Jimmy Fallon. Here he comes now. Jimmy Fallon.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Fallon. Welcome aboard the world-famous studio tour. I know what you're thinking. Why the tough? Well, we're celebrating our 16th anniversary. That's right, 60 years of glitz, glamour, and our own great white shark. As we celebrate our diamond anniversary today, we pay tribute to Universal's past and take you behind the scenes to discover why this studio tour is world famous. So whether this is your first visit or your 60th, get ready for fun, excitement, and an experience like no other.
Thank you, Jimmy. Also, get ready for some safety rules. First, if you need guest assistance during the tour, like if you have a medical emergency, if you drop something of value off the side of the tram, or if you have any sound or video issues, reach up and pull the red emergency cord. It runs along the center of the ceiling of the tram, and I'll come back and assist you as soon as it's safe for me to do so. Otherwise, during the entire tour, please stay seated with your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times. The studio is private property, so if at any point during the tour you drop your phone, or just can't wait to use the restroom, pull the cord and remain seated. Please no smoking of any kind during the tour, and be prepared. The tour is going to feature loud noises, fire effects, sudden tram movements, and many water effects. You're going to want your cameras out for great photo opportunities, but keep an eye on them so they don't get wet. Finally, for your safety and the safety of those around you, please do not use selfie sticks during the tour. And that is it for the rules. And now let's do a little history. On March 15th, 1915, our founder, Carl Laemmle, invited the public into our studio to watch silent movies being made. Guests could walk from set to set and marvel at the new technology involved in filmmaking, but with the advent of sound and the need for quiet on the set, the original walking tour ended. Then in the 1960s, under the leadership of company chairman Lou Wasserman and executives Al Dorskin and Jay Stein. The idea of reviving a tour began when the Great Line bus tours originating in Hollywood would make a stop at our gates. And then on July 15, 1964, the first of our red, white, and candy stripe labor trams took 67 passengers on a 2-hour tour of the lot, and the world-famous studio tour was born. We started with 2 guides, 2 drivers, and 1 ticket seller working out of a trailer on Lake Ocean Boulevard. And from there, the tour grew with fantastic one-of-a-kind Hollywood elements, like the Burning House, and the Avalanche, aka the Rock Slide, both attractions were in this part of the lot in the 1970s and 80s. Ironically, the Burning House stood where the fire station now stands on the right-hand side. That is a real fire station, because we're a real city on top of all of it. Now we're traveling down the Universal timeline. If you've noticed, we have lovely posters representing just a few of the thousands of films we've made over the years. We just added 2 new posters to the timeline for Super Mario Brothers movie and Oppenheimer. You'll see those posters down at the bottom of the timeline. Also at the bottom of the timeline, we're going to be entering the front lawn of our studio. This is where a lot of the action happens. The front lawn. This is where everything goes to our sound stages. On the outside, as you'll see, sound stages look very unassuming. They kind of look like warehouses, but on the inside, they can be turned into any world a filmmaker wants. Like stage 12, coming up on the left, this was the home of The Voice for many years. The Voice still comes on our lot. They just moved to other stages. And I'll show you our screen, some big movie moments that are filmed in there as well. Take a look.
Read the fuckers. King Kong. Born Ultimatum. Look at that.
The inside of stage 12 has been everything from
Scarface
to Jurassic Park to Whoville.
They should have a Scarface ride of some sort.
Stages coming up on the left, but to the right we have the backside of Super Nintendo World. This area to the right was once home to the offices of costume designing legend Edith Head and the dressing room of comedy legend Lucille Ball. In the 60s and 70s on the tour, guests would get off the glamour trams here and tour those 2 spaces. In the 80s, the area to the right was turned into the preview center. It featured shows like the special effects stage. Again, guests would get off the tram here and enjoy those shows. Now off to the left, coming up, we've got stages 8 and 7. These 2 stages are currently home to the Peacock streaming series Bel-Air. It's a dramatic reimagining of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and we'll see 2 stars of that show coming up on our screens. They're our next 60th anniversary guests, Jabari Banks and Ollie Sholatin.
We're leaving the theme park behind and entering the front lot where real Hollywood magic is made. How? Well, inside the sound stages that surrounds us, we can create any kind of environment the script demands.
For the past 60 years, studio tour visitors have driven right by these buildings, and inside these walls, the sets from your favorite TV shows and movies have transported audiences anywhere the imagination can take you, even to a palatial mansion in Bel-Air.
When we film Bel-Air, we love coming out of the sound stages and seeing the trams filled with excited guests as they drive by.
So, keep an eye out.
You never know who
or what.
We'll see you on the studio tour.
Bel-Air also films in stage 14. Coming up on the left-hand side, this is our 2nd largest sound stage on the lot. Before Bel-Air, the stage was home to the NBC comedy series Superstore.
You know, the heat makes us all act.
If your face stays where it is, it's going to get punched.
Superstore starred Academy Award nominee America Ferrera, ran for 6 seasons. Things have been very TV-centric on the front lot for the past few years now. We've had shows film on the lot like the GLAAD Award-winning revival of Saved by the Bell, Grand Crew with Nicole Byer, and a very funny show called Never Have I Ever, created by Mindy Kaling and starring by Trainee Ramakrishnan. That show filmed in stages 16 and 17, coming up on the right. Currently, these 2 stages are home to season 2 of a show called Based on a True Story. It stars Kaylee Cuoco. She used to star on The Big Bang Theory. And now it's the weekend. That means it's a little quieter on the front lot than it would be on a weekday, but we do have a guaranteed celebrity sighting for you. Coming up on the right-hand side, we got Minions. They're pointing the way to the offices of Illumination Entertainment. The head of that company is our next 60th anniversary guest. He's going to tell you about some bungalows coming up on the left-hand side.
In the early days of the studio, these bungalows were used as dressing rooms to the stars of Hollywood's golden age. Now, they're used as offices where some of Hollywood's top directors, writers, and producers work their magic to get a production ready, including my company, Illumination. At Illumination, we've made some of the most successful animated films in box office history, including Despicable Me, The Lorax, The Secret Life of Pets, Minions, saved The Grinch and the Super Mario Brothers movie. And the team is hard at work again as we launch our next film, Despicable Me 4.
Did you hear them say box office? They never said they were gonna give you something.
Yes, of course he loves you. He just doesn't show it on his face or with his body language.
We've had some really good sequences in Despicable Me movies. The heist of the Honey Badger is now officially my favorite. What it comes down to is the emotional through line, and I believe that that's why these movies have stayed in people's hearts.
And the people bringing you that film have offices again in the Bungalows on the left. The Bungalows are also home to Mark Platt Productions. That company is bringing the musical Wicked to the big screen. It's going to be in 2 parts, and we'll star Cynthia Erivo and Academy Award winner Michelle Yeoh. Okay, so we've seen the front lot, but our Master of Ceremonies, Jimmy Fallon, is going to come up again on our screens and introduce this next area.
We're about to cross the imaginary boundary onto the back lot, where we have exterior sets for many outdoor scenes. Over the last 60 years, studio tour guests have seen these locations turned into big cities, quiet suburbs, even that guy's hometown. Yeah, that guy. For countless movies and TV shows. This is Universal's Metro Sets.
Thank you, Jimmy. Coming up on your right-hand side, you're going to see about 4 acres of city sets for filmmakers to choose from. We've got everything here. But first, we've got this photo of a city skyline. Then we'll get into the physical sets. Now, I mentioned it's the weekend earlier, and that means it's a little less busy on the lot, but we have had earlier today some construction work on some sets that we'll see in a moment for a new comedy series called St. Denis Medical. It's from the creator of Superstore. It's going to star David El-Kheer and Wendy McClendon Covey, but I think we'll still see, if not people, some of their equipment they were using earlier today. Yeah, coming up on the right, we've got scissor lifts and cherry pickers and an intimidating sign that says closed sets, and that's all for St. Denis Medical. Now, further up on the right, we've got Brownstone Street. Movies like Gone Girl and Home Alone 2 Lost in New York are filmed there. But just beyond Brownstone Street is a very special part of the Metro sets. We've got more 60th guests to tell you about it.
Welcome to the Courthouse Square. These sets were used to create Hill Valley in the Back to the Future films.
And they represent multiple time periods, 1985, 1955, and the far, far distant future, 2015. To this day, this is one of the most popular sets on the Universal Studio Tour.
We had a lot of fun making those films here on the lot. I wonder what it'd be like to go back to those days. If only we had a time machine.
Hey, everybody. Do you think we can get this tram up to 88 miles per hour? See you in the future.
That was, of course, the star of Back to the Future, Leah Thompson, and the writer-producer of the film, Bob Gale, introducing us all to Courthouse Square. This was Hill Valley in the Back to the Future films. Not only are we going to see Courthouse Square and the Clock Tower, you're also going to see the Time Machine, and Doc Brown is here. Over on the left-hand side, everybody wave hello. Say hi to Doc Brown.
Doc Brown, I know you.
There it is.
Can we go back to the future?
Can we go back to
See you in the future. Thank you, Doc Brown. These Courthouse Square sets were also the town of Kingston Falls in the movie Gremlins. You guys are going To Kill a Mockingbird filmed here, and the very first episode of the original Twilight Zone series. Filmed here. A lot of history at Courthouse Square. These sets date back to the 1940s. Our next stop, though, New York Street, which we're going to see as we round the corner here, is a lot newer. These sets were built in 2008. Before that, this area was home to a studio tour classic. The star of the 2005 film version of King Kong, Jack Black, is going to tell you about it.
And self-action. Did you know the Metro sets were once the home to Hollywood's biggest star? Right here is where the original studio tour King Kong attraction resided from 1986 until 2008. He stood 30 feet tall and weighed in at 13,000 pounds. Over the years, millions of guests got to meet King Kong face to face as he shook the tram. So close you could feel his hot banana breath.
Is that it? I believe that's my last line, and then tram moves on to the next thing.
Yes, that is how it works. But we appreciate you, Jack Black. Thank you. So we used to have King Kong here. Now this is home to our New York Street sets, where a lot of big hit movies are filmed, like Hobbs and Shaw, Disney's Captain America: The First Avenger, Paramount's Transformers, and a lot of TV shows as well, like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, American Ninja Warrior, Criminal Minds, Key and Peele, and Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., just to name a few. But we're going to leave our Metropolitan sets behind now, and we're going to head deeper into the back lot. Up next, we're actually going to drive up a little hill, and at the top of the hill, you're going to want to get your cameras ready for some more studio tour history. At the top of the hill are the runaway train and the collapsing bridge. The collapsing bridge was a mechanical effect that the trams used to cross. The hydraulic support makes it split, and the bridge would seem to collapse. The runaway train was originally located in our western sets. It used to hurtle toward the tram and come to a screeching halt. Both are retired effects made for the studio tour 50 years ago. They're 50 years old, but they still look fantastic. As we round the corner, you'll get a close-up look at both of those retired attractions, the train and the bridge. But just dead ahead is a current attraction on the studio tour, King Kong 360 3D. We're heading into Skull Island now. Please stay seated, of course. Please hold on tight to your personal belongings. Have your 3D glasses ready to put on. The director of the 2005 film version of King Kong, Peter Jackson, is going to set the scene.
The Universal Tram is winding its way through a very rough, narrow trail in Skull Island, allowing the visitors a little sneak peek at some of the wildlife in Skull Island.
Okay, it got dark now. Snap, what's going on? Oh no. Oh wow. Oh wow. Dinosaurs everywhere. Oh snap. Oh snap. Oh snap. Oh wow. Oh wow. Oh wow. Oh! Oh, snap. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Woo. Oh, snap. I didn't expect to get wet like that. Wow.
Alright, you can take off your 3D glasses now. Hang on to them though, you will need them later on the tour. It was all created for us by Peter Jackson and a team of folks at Weta Effects. That's a special effects company based in New Zealand. They've won 7 Academy Awards for work on movies like The Lord of the Rings trilogy, King Kong, and Avatar, The Way of Water. We have some behind-the-scenes images on our screens. And we'll hear from some of the folks at Weta Effects on how they brought King Kong 360 3D to life for us.
With a Hunchback Studio tour, the audience is in the middle of the environment. So they're looking in all directions, there's creatures coming at them, they're seeing Kong from this side and T-Rexes from the other side. Working on a movie, we always know where people are looking straight ahead, they're looking at the shot that we're working on. Here you have to take into account that people are looking in all directions. Also, one of the things about this is unlike the movies that we're used to working on, there's no cuts. Because it's one giant shot. This tram that's driving it along through Skull Island is where the camera's from. This ring represents where the screen is 10 meters away. We're really creating about 50 minutes of a feature film. That amount of visual information, that number of pixels, and presenting them to the audience, it's a hell of a ride.
That was awesome. All right, now we're going to head deeper into our massive back lot. Currently on the left, we're passing by the back side of our metropolitan set area. We've got, looks like an ambulance parked over on the left. It's not a real ambulance, though. It's actually a picture car for the new show St. Denis Medical that I mentioned earlier. As the title implies, the show takes place at a medical center, where you would see ambulances driving around in the background. So those ambulances are actually picture cars, which is kind of an umbrella term for any vehicle ever featured on camera. That show's been filming in our Metro Set area pretty frequently for the past few weeks now. Again, it's a brand new show. It hasn't aired yet, so keep your eyes peeled for it when it comes out. Coming up on the left, we'll get a few more peeks at our Metro Set area, including a big brick wall. None of it's real brick, it's all fiberglass. That we actually make on property in a mill that we have on the front lot. Coming up on the right-hand side, you're going to see a big mural. The mural was done by the artist Tristan Eaton. It commemorates the fact that Universal is the birthplace of the monster movie genre, dating back to the release of Dracula in 1931 and going all the way into next year when Dark Universe at Universal Epic Universe opens at our Orlando resort. Up next on your left-hand side is stage 34. This used to be numbered stage 747. It was a cheeky reference to the fact that it used to specialize in scenes set in the interiors of airplanes. Airplane scenes for movies like Airport, When Harry Met Sally, and The Wedding Singer, all filmed in there. We also have more stages on the left in the distance, stages 30 through 33. That's the home of The Voice. All the live rounds and blind auditions filmed there. And this body of water coming up on the left was the Black Lagoon in the Universal monster movie Creature from the Black Lagoon. The film celebrates its 70th anniversary this year.
Vending machines in the wild.
And the official name for this body of water is the Hollywood Ocean. It was here in 1973 that we opened the Parting of the Red Sea attraction on the studio tour, inspired by the Paramount film The Ten Commandments. The star of that film, Charlton Heston, even made an appearance to part the waters for our guests. The trams would drive right through the lake and give everyone on board a sea-level view.
This tram is overloaded. Tell them they can walk on water as part of the tour.
There were also exploding water mines, prop submarines, and torpedoes as part of the action in the Hollywood Ocean. It's not a natural body of water, though. We put it there for filmmaking purposes. It was also seen in the 1936 film Showboat with Paul Robeson and Hattie McDaniel, and a TV movie spin-off of Gilligan's Island filmed there as well. Not the TV show, but a TV movie spin-off. Just up ahead to the right, though, we're going to visit Little Europe, so-called because these sets often double for different European countries. But in the NBC comedy series The Good Place with Kristen Bell and Ted Danson, this was the afterlife.
You, Eleanor Shellstrop, are dead.
Cool.
This location, the afterlife, come on. I have never ever seen this. You're in the good place.
I'm not supposed to be here. I can't risk going to the bad place.
Okay, well, maybe it's not all that bad.
Hi there. How can I help you?
What is the bad place like?
Well, it doesn't sound awesome.
In addition to the afterlife, this was also the make-believe country of Genovia in Princess Diaries 2, A Royal Engagement with Anne Hathaway and Julie Andrews. And it was a fairy tale kingdom in Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella with Brandy and Whitney Houston. In the 1930s and 40s, all of our classic Universal monster movies filmed here too, like Frankenstein, Dracula, and The Invisible Man. They'd usually film the angry mob scenes in Little Europe. That happens usually near the end of the monster movie when all the villagers get together with their pitchforks and their torches.
You're hitting the fucking curb.
It's been scaring them.
Are you drinking and driving or loud? Why is this a DUI? Got insurance.
All of these angry moms are from the Frankenstein cinematic universe specifically. And they all filmed in Little
I can
Europe.
1v1 Frankenstein. Bro, look at Frankenstein. I can 1v1.
All right, now just up ahead of Soundstage 50, I believe we get to drive through this soundstage in a moment. In the meantime, I'll remind everybody to please stay seated. And looks like we're heading in now. So the entrance can be a little bumpy here, so I would also suggest that you hold on tight to your personal belongings. Now there is a set in here. It's been used, or is continuing to be used by a production. They're just here on the weekdays though, so they'll be back in tomorrow morning. We don't have the name of the production. I believe it is a film. The title has not been released to us though. Productions don't have to give out their titles when they're filming on the lot. That's their business if they want to keep it secret. But the set is beautiful. It's very detailed. They have lighting equipment set up still, but it's a subway station set, as you can tell. And this is actually a 2-level set. We've got the subway on this level, and then one level above us is actually a surface street. And on the left, there's a little sign that says hot set. It's always a sign that filming is limited. It basically means
It goes in wild, man.
Hey, this is not a tremor. I think this is an earthquake. Everybody hang on, please. I'm taking all the props and movie making equipment to the 21st century. Okay, now at this point I get to do a safety reminder. I'll remind everybody to stay seated during the entire tour. And the studio is private property, so if you drop your phone or just can't wait to use the restroom, pull the red cord to get my attention, and I'll be back to assist you, but do remain seated on the tram. All right, up next we're going to get a quick peek at some of our Western sets. We should see them more thoroughly a little later in the tour, but on the right you've got a little look at 6 Points. That's what we call our little Western town. It's not just for the Western genre, though. Any genre can film there. Actually, Steven Spielberg has worked in 6 Points on a couple of his films, Amistad and The Color Purple with Whoopi Goldberg. Universal and Steven Spielberg go way, way back. His name will come up more than once on the tour. His first big hit was a Universal film called Jaws. And our next stop on the tour is the town from Jaws, Amity Island. So while we're visiting, if we're lucky, we might see a real-life shark. If we're really lucky, We might see a shark eat somebody. Fingers crossed. Please stay seated though. Yeah, there's a shark out there right now. And there's a person in the water. There's a diver in that boat. The diver is screaming. I think the shark's eating him. Yeah! Well, that's great. It's like the circle of life. I'm glad you like to see that. Now, we're totally safe from the shark. But just to be extra cautious, we're going to get behind these gasoline tanks. Oh, there's the shark right there. It snuck up on us. Well, actually, it's not done performing. Now it's going to swim backwards. There it goes. And then it's going to go back under the water to get ready to jump out and scare the next tram. The shark does this all day long. It's a good mechanical shark. We've had different versions of a mechanical shark in that water since 1976. Before that, this body of water was called Singapore Lake, so it predates Jaws. As Singapore Lake, it was featured in the movie The Defiant Ones with Sidney Poitier. And this was also the town of Cabot Cove, Maine, on the classic TV series Murder, She Wrote, starring the great Angela Lansbury.
I really like this.
Wait, where are we?
We do like to say on the back left that the whole world is just around the corner. For instance, from the east coast of Amity Island, we're heading to Old Mexico. These sets were featured in the 4th Indiana Jones film and in the music video for the song Judas by Lady Gaga. But today we're actually going to get a weather effects demonstration here. And to introduce that is today's show co-host and weather anchor, Al Roker.
Here we go, right here. This is where it starts.
We debuted our first major attraction here on the studio tour way back in 1968.
My bad, guys.
Thank you, Al. All right, so as you can see, our weather effects demonstration has begun. We've got a fake thunderstorm, so this is how filmmakers can get rain whenever they need it. Rain is coming out of sprinklers. Sprinklers shoot the rain up a little, so it's falling a bit more slowly than real rain would fall. Real rain actually moves a little too fast to be captured clearly on camera. So it's really raining. We have to use fake rain for filmmaking purposes. The lightning is out, sorry, I wasn't paying attention. That looks like a flash flood. As Al Roker said, that flash flood has been an attraction on the studio tour since 1968. You can also be seen in the movie Big Fat Liar with Paul Giamatti. From Old Mexico, we're going to head into the Old West. Now we're driving down the main street of our western town, 6 Points. Classic westerns are filmed here, like Destry Rides Again with Marlene Dietrich, and My Little Chickadee with Mae West. And more recently, films have been here like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and Call of the Wild with Harrison Ford. In 6 Points, we have a combination of facades and practical sets. A facade is a kind of set where we just build the front and the sides of the structure. Just what the camera sees, then the audience fills in the rest with their imagination. If it also has an interior for filming inside and out, then it's a practical set like the saloon on our screens. This is here in our western town. And that's what it looks like on the inside. And these are western sets, so we've had a lot of barroom brawls here over the years.
things up here. That I
Dare you hit that man?
One of the two cowboys that fell down in that last shot was actor Bruce Dern, father of Academy Award-winning actress Laura Dern. I just like finding an excuse to reference Laura Dern on my tour. TV shows have filmed in 6 points as well, like Castle, The Mindy Project, and Marvel's Agent Carter. And a big commercial for The Voice filmed here a few seasons back. We call it 6 points actually in honor of our original Western sets from the silent film era that had 6 streets that radiated out from a central hub, kind of like the spokes on a wagon wheel. Up next on the left, one last look at the Hollywood Ocean, where again we premiered the Parting of the Red Sea attraction in 1973. The mid-70s was a really big time at the studio tour in terms of adding attractions to the tour, and it really culminated with the addition of the Jaws attraction in 1976. The director of the movie Jaws, Steven Spielberg, actually had a big hand in bringing the attraction to the studio tour.
The Jaws ride was almost the inevitable result of the size of the box office when Jaws first opened in June of 1975. And that was really the first time I ever got involved in the creation of a ride. It was a great honor to be invited into a creative circle of tremendous designers at Universal. They were trying to figure out how to replicate what the movie had done to audiences in a real way by building a physical shark that would come out of the water and terrify tourists as they were sitting in the tram. And the most amazing thing about the Jaws ride is it is exactly as it was from the time it was first placed on the Universal lot. There have been tweaks, of course, over the years, but it is essentially what the designers and myself all envisioned and created. I'm done bashing the shark. Thank you, Jaws, for everything you've done for me. But I will say, consistently, the shark did work much better on the tour than it did in the Atlantic Ocean in 1974.
Thank you, Steven. All right, up next on the left, one of our pretend residential streets. The house closest to us with the green roof was Boo Radley's house in the film To Kill a Mockingbird. It's officially called Elm Street, but it's not related to the Nightmare on Elm Street films. Coming up on the right is the Chicken Ranch. There's a few productions of the film there. The main house is a practical set with a full interior, but you'll see in a moment the yellow house behind the main house is very obviously a facade. Again, when we only build what the camera sees, nothing more. Up ahead to the left, we'll pass by the end of what was Wisteria Lane on Desperate Housewives. It's officially called Colonial Street. There's production set up down there today, actually. It's a really popular filming location because it looks like a typical American suburb. It could be any town USA pretty much, so it's super popular. Past Colonial Street coming up, we've got Lion Estates, or replicas of the original Lion Estates signs from Back to the Future. The neighborhood is where Marty McFly lived in the film. Those Lion Estates props were made by a Back to the Future fan club and gifted to the studio back in 2015 as part of the 30th anniversary for Back to the Future. It was a very kind gesture. Steven Spielberg actually executive produced Back to the Future. Again, his name comes up a lot on the tour. His association with Universal really starts with the tour.
My entire career began with my relationship with Universal Studios just as a high school kid on a tour bus. Remember, in those days, there weren't trams, there were buses called the Gray Line Tour Bus. And I was so excited and thrilled to be on the lot. It was my first time ever on a movie studio lot. And during a bathroom break, I hid in the bathroom, and when everybody left to get back on the bus, I waited another 15 minutes until I'm sure the bus left, and then I had the entire lot to myself that day. And in those days, movie lots were so crowded because all movies were made on film lots. Today they're made all over the world, on locations, but most of it was focused on me when I was going around from soundstage to soundstage, and I really felt, in my own young way, I owned the lot and had the most amazing day of my life.
It's a pretty wild story. And sometimes guests catch this on their own, but we name all of our streets on the left. Oh, hold the phone. There's another tram on the left-hand side. They're staring at us. You can stare at them if you want to. Make it weird. Make a lot of eye contact. Or wave. Be friendly. Up to you. Anyway, we name all of our streets on the lot. I'm going to see we're on Steven Spielberg Drive. We got all roads after Universal Legends, and he certainly counts. We're going to turn off of this road for a moment, though, and onto a set, actually, from one of Steven's films. This is the plane crash set from his movie War of the Worlds. Now, this is a real plane. It was a retired commercial 747. It was purchased for War of the Worlds for $60,000 and chopped into pieces, and then each piece of the plane had to be shipped to the filming location. The shipping cost $200,000. The plane is only seen on screen for like less than a minute, but Steven wanted the real deal, so of course he got it. The wrecked houses on the left were also featured in a commercial for Farmers Homeowners Insurance for, I think, obvious reasons. And this is such a believable disaster area that real emergency personnel come up here from time to time to run disaster drills. So it's a very versatile spot. It's one of the largest sets in film history. Up next to the right, we're going to see a set that's been a highlight of the studio tour since 1964 from the movie Psycho. This is the Psycho house. It's where Norman Bates lived in the movie. It's also where his mother still lives. Mother's at home. She's up on the second floor in one of the windows in her rocking chair. If you see her, give her a wave. She's a sweetheart. As we start to head down the hill, coming up on the right, you'll see our official scale replica of the Hollywood sign, LA's most iconic landmark. And in a few moments, you'll get to step onto the lot and take a photo with the sign in the background. In the 1960s, in the early days of the tour, we had Prop Plaza, where guests would get off the tram and take photos with some of their favorite props and vehicles from Universal Films. Well, we brought that experience back for the 60th anniversary. This is our Step Onto the Lot experience. This is going to be a limited stop, though, so when you're ready to resume the tour, just follow the signs. You'll be boarding a different tram with a different tour guide, so make sure you take all your personal belongings with you, including your 3D glasses. You are going to need them when you resume the tour. Please stay seated until our studio tour ambassadors open up the gates for you. When you exit, just head towards the front of the tram. Have fun. Again, your driver has been Nathan. Your tour guide has been CJ. It's been a pleasure having you all on board. Have a great time out there. Be sure to scan the QR codes at the Jaws and King Kong photo ops for a fun cinematic Euro filter. Have a great time, guys. Thanks for coming.
Einfach Fates Note, ja, die. Habt ihr das angeguckt?
Sorry.
This way, everybody, all the way down, all the way down. All the way down.
I just heard a dude say first.
Look at the size of this shopping cart right here.
Look at my new whip, Jared.
They're good, actually. They're good. From strength. They're good, like the
Right, and behind me you'll see Woman Bates, our movie Psycho, 1960, directed by none other than. So take a picture. We have photo opportunities to your left. That's the Hollywood sign. To your right, that's the Psycho house. Take a picture.
¿Quieren foto?
Let's get a picture a second. Shut up.
Well, wait, this is the.
Well, that is the
Acá.
Everybody to continue down.
I would've got shot. My mom would've got mad. No, bro. I was like, thinking about your friend. It's right. You're already
More food in them. Here we go. Tram. Come, fall. Come.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Go ahead. After you.
Wait, honey.
No. Here.
Yeah, go ahead. Guys, we'll just hang out for the next one.
We'll just wait for the next one. What else happens after this one? You don't remember?
Old time car.
Yes, we're on the front.
Everybody, come join us on our glamour train.
Switch. Switch.
Make
Switch.
sure you fill in all those seats towards the right-hand side so you can get as many friends on board with us as possible. When you find out if those seats are already going, we're in the second train right behind us. Hello, welcome. Take all those seats towards the right-hand side.
Alright, hold your step.
Hello, everyone. We'll be together for about 15 minutes as we explore the last little section of our studio tour. Hey, my name's Emily. I'm going to be your new tour guide. Everyone say hi, Emily. Hello. And welcome back if you were with me before. Your driver today is Eris. So we're going to be on our way in just a moment. Make sure you got a pair of those 3D glasses. If you forgot your 3D glasses, raise your hands. Trying to get you a pair of those before we head
Make sure you have
today.
a pair of 3D glasses.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time. All right, those gates are starting to come down. Watch your fingers, watch your toes. Make sure you're filling in all those seats so we get a couple more people on board with us. Woo! All right, you guys take some fun photos out there? Yeah. What about scan the QR codes with the fun filters? No? If not, you can go on our Instagram page at Uni Studios. They should have links to give you the cinematic AR filters that put you inside of the Universal movie. It's a lot of fun. All right, gates are coming down. Quick safety reminders. If you have an emergency or need to get my attention while we're together, reach up, grab that red emergency cord. I'll come help you out. Otherwise, we'll be together for about 15 minutes. Remain seated, turn off your flash photography, and enjoy the rest of our time. All right. Someone else who took the studio tour just like you did as a young child was Academy Award-winning director Jordan Peele. Here he is to tell his story.
I remember going to Universal Studios when I was 12 years old, feeling this feeling of wonder. You know, one of my first trips at Universal Studios, seeing the Jaws ride, one of my favorite movies of all time, just feeling like, that's him. That's the Jaws. But I don't even know if that is the Jaws. I hope it is. Sharing space with Hitchcock and Spielberg, I couldn't be more proud.
So Jordan Peele is our modern day horror guy, bringing us films like Us, Get Out, and his most ambitious film to date is Nope. It's a Western with a sci-fi twist in a way. It's a lot of some genre bending in there. And at the end of filming, they brought the sets from up north of the Santa Clarita Valley here to the studio tour to become a permanent part of our experience. So now we're going to head into the little town we call Jupiter's Claim.
Movie magic only happens when a team of collaborators, often in the hundreds, work together to take an impossible notion and bring it to life. This is Jupiter's Claim, a nostalgic, small-time Southern California amusement park owned by former child star Ricky Juke Park. Over there, look into the Winky Net and have your picture taken just like the kids in that old 90s movie Kid Share. That's what this whole place is loosely based on. Remember that one? No? Live. A little further down, you can see the brand new Star Lasso experience. Built to showcase an unbelievable new live show. Anyway, behind this Hollywood fantasy, the best frontier town, lies a sinister secret. It is smack dab in the center of UFO. Welcome to the world of no.
In the film, the former child star tries to harness the power of a mysterious new phenomenon to bring the world its next big spectacle, but things were probably doomed from the start. If you want to find out what happened here, you're just going to have to watch. No. I think I want to get out of this doomed spectacle. And now we're going to take you to a different area of the lot. We once had something called the Doomed Glacier Expedition, also known as the Ice Tunnel. The Ice Tunnel was used in an episode of The $6 Million Man starring Lee Majors and Andre the Giant as Bigfoot. The tram would have to climb to an imaginary elevation of 12,000 feet where the slightest sound could trigger an avalanche, and it always did, sending the tram and its guests spinning with this Hollywood special effect. And we're now heading into the room where we once had this special effect. And it was just the engine, really, that moved that tube around to make it look
secret spot.
Alright, look guys, we want to keep sharp and finding you. To keep you safe, we need your help. We don't want the city tracking us. So put away your cameras and turn off your cell phones. One flash or ringtone will give us away.
I need y'all to take this real serious.
Okay, on to the next bit.
Alright, I know it seems like things have escalated quickly, but we're in good hands. Roman, Lenny, they're going to make sure we are totally okay, like family, you know, we're going to be great. You know what? Witness, wherever you are, let it go. Do not arrest. It's go time. Let's get it. What you got? Whoa, we're in the party. Next phone.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Police, FBI, don't move. That's right, party's over. You know how long that took to...
Just back up a little bit. Yeah, it's like that. First of all, I don't work for you.
Oh, really? Well, tell me, Roman, who do you work for?
We don't work for nobody. I suggest you clear out of here, otherwise we can't guarantee your safety.
Guarantee my safety? I'm the one holding the gun. Never mind, a whole lot bigger than yours.
Escort this now.
No, man.
Somebody out there really pissed off Shaw. It's gonna get ugly fast.
Yeah, don't worry. Lucky for you, our whole family will protect you.
Are you kidding me, Roman? You didn't shut off your phone, bro?
I gotta call you back. I'm in the emergency. Call you back.
It was on vibrate.
Short trace us. I can't hold him forever. Letty, Roman, we're up. Try to move that vehicle.
It's about to get real interesting. My Mona Lisa's all warmed up right next door.
Roman, grab your truck.
Okay, folks, they're sending me a message. It says, have everyone put on their 3D glasses. We're going to make good disguises for this situation. And proceed to the garage and wait in Toretto. He will escort you back to the park. All right, easy enough. Glasses on. Remain seated. Wait for Dom.
Which one of you is the witness? Speak now or you all get fried!
This is our turn. Okay, guys, it's showtime! Let's do the more faster. Roman, Lenny, hook him up.
I got the bull by the horn!
Now we're moving.
Dad, look out! You can be the witness to the car today! I got company! The witness is mine, Letty!
How about you eat asphalt?
Don't think you're getting away! Call it the balls!
Way to go, Letty.
Don't climb another missile shot!
Not gonna happen. Don't worry, I got this.
Roman, don't shoot! Head over the bridge! Under subtraction! Everybody hold on!
Hit the nitrous.
We're not gonna make it!
Ride or die.
Everyone, give it up for family. The Fast, the Furious, Supercharged. All done for the classes. I want some classes. Oh wow, what a good time. I hope you all have enjoyed learning about Christ TV shows and of course our very own studio tour. And now it is time for us to start heading back to the park ourselves. So once again, we're on Jimmy Fallon to send us home.
Over the past 6 decades, Studio Tour has taken guests on an amazing behind-the-scenes look at a movie studio in a way that only Universal can. I hope that you had a great time today, and on behalf of everyone at NBC Universal, thank you for joining us to celebrate our diamond anniversary. Here's to another 60 years.
Thanks, Jimmy. And of course, thank you all on board for celebrating our 60th anniversary with us. The studio tour is where it all began for Universal destinations and experiences, beginning with 2 prior trams riding around the lot in the summer of 1964. We've developed into so much more, including 7 theme parks, entertaining millions of guests around the world. Of course, the upcoming Universal Epic Universe opening in Orlando next year. Also like to acknowledge all of our studio tour ambassadors, drivers, and guides throughout our history who have helped make make the tour world famous. And also shout out to my bus members on board. Thanks for being a part of our Universal family. If you'd like to upgrade your ticket to an annual membership, you can do so by visiting our Universal box office. If you're going to be hanging out with us a little bit longer today, the park will be open until 9 p.m. Need some ideas for the rest of your day? Download the Universal Studios Hollywood app. It's got mobile ordering, maps, menus, showtimes for Water World, and much, much more. And now it looks like we are entering our unload station. It's time for me to roll these credits. If you'd like to purchase any Universal movies or shows, you can visit www.uphe.com or our retailers in the park. And now just remain seated until the tram comes to a complete stop. Make sure you have all your belongings with you, including your 3D glasses, which you will drop off in those blue bins in the plaza. And on behalf of myself, Emily, your guide, Eris, your driver, and every other team member here at Universal, we hope that you
All right,
enjoy
that's
this
it.
exclusive
Like and subscribe.
16 years in the making. And I guess as you say in the industry, that's a wrap. Bye, everybody.